Hello, boys and girls. This video is for Monday of week 1.2. It is for September 7th, 2020, and it is for our new story, The Flight of Icarus. I'm not going to read the audio of the story to you because you have access to this online, and you're just go to your textbook, HMH. Make sure you're under read. Okay, so just make sure that under contents it says read and not get ready or any of the other tabs. So as long as you are under the read section, you will be able to hear the story read to you. Okay, just by clicking on play audio. So I'm just going to highlight a few of the things that you should pay attention to when you're reading the story. Feel free to pause the video and copy the notes on your own, either on your own digital book or on your own paper book, whatever makes you more comfortable. Okay, the notes I'm going to highlight are mostly for your test that you're going to have on Friday. So the first note that I want you to pay attention to is this one over here, paragraph 2. Minos may control the land and sea, he said, but he does not control the air. I will try that way. Okay, the note that I want you to add here is this. Daedalus sees the air as a way to escape. Okay, Minos controls the land and the sea, so Daedalus can never escape by that way. So he has to try a different way, and the only one left that he comes up with is traveling through the air. Okay, so Daedalus saw the air as a means of escape. Okay, if you press pause, if you need to copy that note. Moving along, the next note that I want you to add is in paragraph 3. In paragraph 3, we see that his son, Daedalus tells his son Icarus to collect feathers. Okay, Icarus is able to collect feathers, but we see a couple of differences here with these feathers. Feathers for them mean freedom. Because they are able to get these feathers, they are able to make wings that help them escape. So Daedalus and Icarus are able to escape this island that they're in because of all the feathers that they find. For them, feathers means freedom. And that's the symbol that we see. But there is a difference. Okay, the bird's feathers don't have limits because that is something that is naturally given to them. Birds have feathers, and birds don't have limits with those feathers. We see, however, that the man-made wings that Daedalus and Icarus use with those same wings do have limits. Daedalus and Icarus have limits with those feathers because those feathers are not theirs naturally. So Daedalus and Icarus's wings do have limits. Feathers birds do not have limits. The next note I want you to make, and also in paragraph 3, is that Icarus helps his dad, but he plays at the same time, which is something unusual. Okay, it would be something unusual for someone who was a little bit older and a little bit more serious about escaping. What this shows us is that Icarus is a very young child. Because Icarus is very young, he tends to make a game out of anything because he is just so young. Okay, he doesn't understand how serious the situation is, and he's still young. He wants to play. So Icarus is helping his dad. He is collecting the feathers that his dad told him to collect, but he is also playing at the same time. Okay, that's an important note that we should know. Another important note that you should make a note of is one that foreshadows events in our story. Okay, in this note that I want you to make for paragraph 5, Daedalus watched him proudly, but with misgivings. This one word means he's proud, but it's not a complete pride because there's something not quite right about it. These misgivings, these concerns that he has, looking at our note, foreshadows, and we see that Daedalus has misgivings. He has concerns, meaning we are already beginning to see this may be a problem. It's not going to be the perfectly happy ending that we are hoping for. Okay, and this is also another note that we need to make. Keep in mind, or please notice that I capitalized foreshadowing. Okay, you need to know that this foreshadows events in the future. Another note that we need to make is in paragraph 6, and we actually have two different notes here. I know it's the same color, but they're two different notes. Okay, the very first note starts with the word Icarus and ends with lovely bird. This also, if you'll notice, has this word in capitals. Okay, foreshadowing. This foreshadows also that dark future of our story. Daedalus compares Icarus to a bird. Okay, he foreshadows Icarus's joy when he flies. We begin to see Daedalus knows that Icarus enjoys flying, and he's concerned because he's afraid Icarus, in his joy, might fly more dangerously than he should. Okay, so again, we are foreshadowing. The next note starts with the word Daedalus, ends with the word follow. Okay, so this one that's kind of like blinking here. This next note also foreshadows. We have several things already foreshadowing the outcome of the story. Okay, Daedalus' eyes filled with tears, and turning away, he soared into the sky, calling Icarus to follow. This part right here, Daedalus' eyes filled with tears. This foreshadows more tears to come. So we're foreshadowing an ending where it might not be as happy as Daedalus imagined. Okay, so this is another note to keep in mind. Again, notice the word foreshadowing is in all caps. This is very important. Another note that we have to make, and this is all one big note. He was bewitched by a sense of freedom, and he beat his wings frantically. Okay, he was bewitched by a sense of freedom and beat his wings frantically. Okay, this is Icarus, and it's showing us as readers, the reader can see that Icarus wants to be independent. Notice how I made this word all caps. Okay, please highlight this word. Okay, independent, just in case you know on your test you're looking for a word that says independent. This is already there for you. Hint, hint. So keep this word capitalized and make a note of it. Okay, we're able to see that Icarus wants to be independent. The next note, the sun became so hot that the largest feathers dropped off and he began to sink. So again, we're talking about Icarus, and he was warned not to fly too high because the wax would melt. But here it says the sun became so hot that the largest feathers dropped and he began to sink. Icarus flew too high that the sun was able to melt that wax. So that's another note. And almost, we have one more. This word, exaltation. This again shows us this word, again in all caps, very important, that Icarus flew higher and higher into the sky so that he could be free. Okay, this young child flew further and further, higher and higher into the sky to be free, and ultimately he was free from the earth. So these are notes to keep in mind. I should have mentioned this before, but the way to watch this video, I want you guys reading along as you make these notes. So you'd have to listen to the audio as you're taking these notes at the same time. All right, guys. So I hope this helps you out. Take care.